Hello and welcome. I want to talk today about the nervous habits we tend to go into when we feel stressed and anxious. So, I've been working with people across the board. So, from, CEOs, business professionals, pop stars, MPs, a whole range of people who do pretty high profile things. And what I've noticed at all stages of your career, these tendencies can show up in your communications. And I've noticed there are four tendencies. And what I've mapped out in this training is this: if you can spot the habit that you tend to go into, you've got a chance of learning how to get into real confidence, because our nervous habits are really a response of the nervous system. And as I said in my introductory video, our nervous system is basically just coping with the current world that we're in, because we were not designed to do all of these really, really scary things. And so naturally, our nervous system goes into defense patterns to try and help us to feel a little safer. But the problem is, these defense patterns tend to lower our impact. So we've got to know what they are. So there are four that I'm going to talk you through. The first type are what I call the try harders, and it's the one I do the most often. So try harders try hard. So, for example, if I was asked to do a presentation at some really important event, the first thing my mind would go into is, oh, I've got to make sure it's the best it can possibly be. This try hard mentality doesn't trust that we'll just be fine and we'll be able to do it. It goes into over efforting. So I'll go away, I'll probably research for hours, I'll probably, even if it's a topic I know really well, I'll probably rewrite it several times, and then I'll over rehearse it. I'll rehearse it so much that actually I'm exhausted. And then on the day, I might be rewriting it again because I'm still trying. I'm trying hard. And we never, as try hard as when we're in that nervous habit, we never feel ready, because we always feel like we've got to try even harder. So when we actually do the presentation or we're being interviewed, what happens in try hard energy is it's over efforting, and it might show up in slightly different ways. For me, it shows up with, hi, I can get really big and over the top, and I can get very smiley because I want everybody to think I'm doing a wonderful job. I'll over effort. So my energy can feel effusive and big and expressive. So it might kind of look charismatic, but actually it feels a bit tiring to watch me when I'm in that energy. And I go there even now. I see myself doing videos sometimes and I'm like, okay, I'm in try hard. Let's do it again. So I really have to relax and pull myself back when I go there. And it's that wiring of, oh, it's got to be better. It's got to be better. So for me, it's smiliness, people pleasing. It might look at being very serious, but feeling like I've got to push try hard might come across as a little controlling, actually. So for some people, it can be a bit sort of serious and pushing my energy. But the impact is it feels effortful. It feels like an effort. It doesn't feel relaxing or enjoyable. It's not connecting with the audience. And actually, the audience are feeling like, oh, this is a bit exhausting to look at. It doesn't feel relaxing. It doesn't feel connective. So it doesn't have the impact that you actually want, which is a bit frustrating. So that's try hard. The second type, I call these the humor types. So it can look really great when you're a humor type, but actually what you're doing is you're kind of deflecting. You don't want the attention on you and your message because it feels a little vulnerable. So instead, you use goofiness or stupid humor, or you put yourself down, or you put the situation down. And you can come across as very likable. There's some lovely qualities to humor, and we want humor in presentations. It's not that we don't want humor there, but it's when you're using it too much or you're using it to avoid being present with yourself or connecting with the audience. So with humor times, you feel like we don't really know who you are. There's a lack of intimacy there, and it just feels like, oh, we're not connecting with the audience if we default to humor. So it's about being able to use humor for impact rather than as a deflection strategy. So that's humor types. Type three are shrinkers. So this is the freeze response normally in the nervous system. So it's when we just do not feel comfortable being seen. So what we'll do physically, we'll actually just gently make ourselves smaller. So our spine is going in, our upper body is shrinking. We make ourselves smaller. If there's expression, it's probably very, very minimal. So when I see people in shrinkers, it's maybe like the very, very minimal hand gesture here and there, locked shoulders, very little expression in the face, and not a lot of aliveness, not a lot of expression. And it can really affect the voice as well. So the voice might tail off, go very quiet. And basically, because you do not feel comfortable being seen, so your body is just trying to make you invisible. So that's shrinkers. Your energy is small, your impact is very minimal. So people just won't see you as a leader. They won't see you as someone powerful. And just by the way, being quiet can be really powerful. Being somebody with a quiet voice can be useful at times, but when it's a habit because you're not feeling safe, people will pick up on the fact that you aren't in your power. So that won't have the impact that you want. And the final strategy, I called these aloof cool types. So this is a tendency for people who tend to go into their heads or intellectualize and they like emotionally distance. So it's a protection strategy that basically goes into something like, oh God, this is a ridiculous situation. You become a little judgy of the situation you're in, you judge other people, and you're kind of protecting yourself. And it can show up with you withdrawing. You're probably not expressing yourself emotionally because you're sort of, there's a distancing that happens. And of course, the impact will be that people feel a little weird in your energy and they don't feel like they can trust you. So yeah, it's really important to pay attention. If you notice there's a lot of judging of the situation, people are picking up on that. So finally, you might go into one or more of those strategies, and there might be something that I've not mentioned. The most important thing here is to get aware of where you go when you're not feeling comfortable. And you can get aware by simply paying attention from day to day. When you go into a meeting, what's happening in your body? Are you a rever upper? Are you someone who goes bigger? What are the patterns that happen in your body language? What happens to your energy? Do you go smaller? Do you pull back from a situation? So what happens in your body and what happens in the way you're thinking about yourself and the situation? So they're the things to notice. And in the next videos, we'll look at ways to counteract the habit, ways to actually build confidence so that you feel like your personality, your true personality, can really come out. All right, so see you next time.